That night, the lights of Beijing seemed to fade compared to a small room on the third floor of a luxurious hotel. Inside, Xu Kai and Tan Songyun, two top stars who were usually only seen together on screen, were now so close, too close, that the air between them felt thick and warm. Earlier, they had just finished an intense photo shoot for a prestigious fashion magazine. The theme, Romance in the Rain, required them to pose intimately, to gaze into each other's eyes, to hold each other tightly while artificial raindrops slid down their hair and faces. No one knew that behind their professional smiles, their hearts were pounding uncontrollably. That night, after work wrapped up, Xu Kai offered to drive Songyun home. "No need, I can go by myself," she said, but Xu Kai's gaze was too persuasive. "I won't feel at ease if you go home alone," he said softly, but firmly. In the end, she relented. Yet instead of heading towards Songyun's apartment, Xu Kai's car stopped in front of a luxury hotel he knew well. At first, Songyun protested. "Xu Kai, this isn't my place." But Xu Kai only gave a faint smile, the kind that made his face even more magnetic. "I know. But tonight, I want us to talk. No, I want us to be honest." What happened next felt like something straight out of a drama they starred in, only this time there was no script, no director, and no cameras. Just the two of them. Words faded midway, replaced by touches, by lingering stares, by breaths that grew heavier. The hours that followed were an explosion of emotions and sensations they had never confessed before. Every movement was intense, every touch felt like a silent admission. Xu Kai, with a gaze full of desire yet tinged with tenderness, poured out everything he had been holding back. Songyun could no longer pretend. She responded in kind, though her heart was a swirl of fear and happiness. When dawn broke, they lay on the king-sized bed with the blanket in disarray. Xu Kai was still watching Songyun's sleeping face. His hand reached out to sweep away a strand of hair that had fallen across her cheek. In his heart, he thought that this moment was far too beautiful to end. When Songyun opened her eyes, Xu Kai smiled. "Good morning," he said in a voice still deep from sleep. Songyun simply gave a small nod, then closed her eyes again. But Xu Kai, still burning with passion from the night before, wrapped his arm around her waist and pulled her closer. "How about we continue?" he whispered into her ear, his voice low but filled with meaning. Songyun froze, her eyes widening slightly. Her cheeks flushed, not just from embarrassment, but because she was truly exhausted. "Xu Kai, I can't take it anymore," she said softly, almost like a whimper. Xu Kai stopped. He looked at her with an expression that was part disappointment, part concern. "Did I push you too hard?" he asked gently. Songyun shook her head quickly, trying to smile. "It's not that, it's just, last night was too intense. I need to rest." Silence fell for a few seconds. Xu Kai took a deep breath, then pulled Songyun into his arms from behind. "All right. But you should know, I'm not satisfied, not just about that. I'm not satisfied with the time we've had together. I want more of you." His words made Songyun smile faintly, but deep inside, she felt a warmth that spread through her chest. There was something in Xu Kai's tone that convinced her this wasn't just about physical closeness. There was something deeper. A few hours later, as they sat having breakfast in the hotel restaurant, the public began to notice them. Despite trying to hide behind hats and masks, the closeness between them was impossible to disguise. Now and then, Xu Kai's hand brushed against Songyun's when reaching for a fork, or his gaze lingered too long on her face. That morning, fans who happened to be at the hotel began to speculate. Photos of them sitting side by side, laughing, and even the moment when Xu Kai rested his arm on the back of Songyun's chair started circulating on social media. The hashtag #XuKaiTanSongyun quickly shot to the top of the trending list. Behind it all, in the hotel room they had just left, traces of their long night still lingered. Traces they would not only remember, but which might also change their relationship forever. Xu Kai knew that from that night onward, he could no longer see Songyun merely as a colleague. And Songyun realized that although she said she couldn't take it anymore, her heart actually wanted to stay longer by Xu Kai's side. What would happen next? That remained a mystery. But one thing was certain, the Chinese entertainment world was not ready for the storm of rumors that would arise from that one night full of passion.